All right, Justin, thank you for joining me today. Sam couldn't join us because he
Well,
had to
glad
take
to
us
be
back to
here.
the airport.
That's all right.
Sorry.
Well, I'm late, so I appreciate your opportunity there.
Oh, no problem. No problem at all. So we just wanted to talk to you about your tenure as the HOA president. You are the first one, the inaugural Tollgate HOA president. And I know whew, you inherited a job. So kind of wanted to hear from you on where it was, where you've taken it, and then what you would like to see happen going forward, especially because you're going to continue living at Tollgate.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. So, thank you for the opportunity. I think the biggest thing that kind of came in was, the first couple of meetings was structuring. Who's going to be your officers? How does that work? How are we going to, create the board voting system and rolling members off? And how long do you sit on a chair? I mean, all of the small things that seem so normal now, we had to kind of create it all. Um, we had a great history with Larry and Lewis, kind of helping run the subdivision pre-board wise. And so we had a good track record. We had, property management that was already in there with Damon Morrison. So we had a lot of great things already in place. But then we had to learn, okay, well, you have operating expenses. You have the business of the neighborhood. Sarah, we're almost $1 million a year in revenue generations. And so you're managing the money. And so how do you make the money make money? And how do you invest your savings? How do you create savings? And so we went through all of those. We formed the chairs. We formed the subcommittees, which we started small, and we brought in some other subcommittees through it to help manage the property, like grounds and social and um, uh, communications and so forth. Now we have security. So it's kind of been fun to watch those. A long time ago, we call it New Americas. Didn't have final pavement. It was horrible to drive through. So I had a road background in building roads. So I was passionate about trying to get that finished. And the developer, um, held their feet to the fire to make sure the town got our road paved back and fixed correctly. And so there's been a lot of projects I think that we've wanted to work on, or we had ideas and we either shot them down or realized maybe they weren't as great as we wanted them to be. But there's a couple other projects that we just hadn't gotten to yet. It just money isn't there.
So tell
But
us
I
about
think it
some of
really
those
started with,
projects. Tell us about
yeah,
some of those
yes.
projects that you got done. I think the most notable one, I know there's a lot that's happened that maybe
Mhm.
people haven't realized or haven't seen because they haven't been in the neighborhood. I've lived in the neighborhood for 11 years. You've been there for 10? Yes,
Uh, 10 right there, 10 years. Yeah.
10
Yeah.
years. So there's a lot of things that the neighborhood has been through that people may not necessarily realize. They may not have realized just how much you all have gotten done in the last 3 years. I think the most
Yeah.
notable one for me is the extra workout area up at the top of the hill.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. So we built the workout area. We bought all last year. We bought all new workout equipment in the gym. So that was $30,000 investment into the equipment there. We've converted the pool from traditional chlorine to salt water, and rehabbed all the systems in there. We're looking at a potential. There'll be a vote coming up here in a little while, potentially expanding the playground, doubling the playground facility.
You all
Um,
got a lot of
we've got,
trees planted in
course,
our common ground. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, have a lot of trees. So last year we lost 45,000 to landscape. So we devised a plan with the grounds committee to pull out the dead shrubs and to replace all. Um, we inherited a new phase, all the new sections of the subdivision that controlled by the developer. We inherited all of that last year. I think it was our first full year, and they didn't leave it up to the scale of the what we call the old part of the neighborhood. We don't have as much beautiful landscaping and trees, and so we're developing plans on how do we make sure the new side of the neighborhood looks as beautiful as some of the old mature trees and the landscape. So there's a lot that's in the plans to do that. Just once again, it's money. Um, Parking is an issue that we've all been facing. I've got a plan with the town right now on ideas on how to not only regulate it, but to enforce it. That's something the entire town of Thompson Station has not figured out in any subdivision. I've got a plan that's radical that nobody else has tried. I'm just making sure that the town will let us do what we're proposing. Um, and I think it can work. I really do. We have a trail system that connects to all of the subdivisions. Right now, we're the lead one. Nobody else has got that yet. So making sure we stay on priority. They want to expand the trail in some places. We want to make sure that we get some of that expansion. So there's a lot of communication with the town and the aldermans and the mayor to make sure that our subdivision stays on the focus along with everybody else, but that we don't get left behind. So, you're an unofficial town member when you're part of the HOA, but you need to stay on as I always say, you got to stay on the menu. We want to continually be served. And so you've got to make sure they don't forget us, right? That we're taken care of. Um, I think this coming year, we're going to spend quite a bit of money on rehabbing the pool facility. It's one of our biggest investments. Last year, we got a very expensive roof replaced on the clubhouse
You
for
also
zero out of pocket.
and redesigned the clubhouse, what,
Redesigned the clubhouse,
a year
remodeled the
and a half
club.
ago or so?
Mhm.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, remodeled that. So, and then the board worked with Lewis, our treasurer, and Gertner. We have close to $1 million in savings in capital funds we every couple of years we get a plan that tells us how much investment we should have to cover potential failures in clubhouses or parking lots or whatever it is. It basically generates how much funds we should have saved back for preventative maintenance for things that are just going to wear out. And so we've met that or exceeded that, which is wonderful. But instead of it just sitting, we did this last year, instead of it just sitting in an account, not making money, we invested it in CDs. And so we're taking the money and making it make money for the neighborhood. And so this is, you'll hear it a lot of times. This is my second business. This is my second job, is working with this board to make sure that not only we make wise decisions about what we spend, but how do we make it make money, right? Well, let's take our money and make it make money for us, just like you would in any other business. And so we're blessed with Lewis is our treasurer. He's penny conscious, and so he doesn't let us get away with anything that we shouldn't, which is a blessing. That's exactly who you want. And then Gertner is our true partner. So we extended a contract for 5 years with him. We sealed it just last month. So we made a long-term plan with them. By going long-term, we got a better budget rate. So that's locked in. So we got a long-term deal with them that will save us money in the long run. Same thing we done with our landscape company. We worked a long-term contract with them to save money.
And what is Gertner going to continue to do for us?
Yeah. So Gertner will continue to be our property manager, and we will still have Jennifer Ott, which is a Gertner employee. So we will have an on-site manager as well. And so we negotiated all the rates and all that for a long-term plan with them, partnership. And it's the same thing, Sarah, in business, right? If you and I are going to do business for 3 months or we're going to do business for 3 years, well, the 3 years I can get a better deal on. And our partnership is just cemented better. So we get this longevity with each other and we get a better rate. And so it took months to negotiate some of these things. Same thing with the landscape company. It takes months to negotiate these things. But the end goal is we don't just want a vendor. We want a partner. We want a team partner in this subdivision. So we want a long-term relationship that is financially responsible with these partners. And so what I have been trying to do, I guess, in my tenure here is to make sure that we have partners that we value, that they value us, we value them. We have a great relationship, a long-standing commitment to where rates can't go through the roof on us, and and surprise us in a year, and that ultimately we leave the neighborhood set in motion so that the next board next year can come into financial stability and make good decisions based on, they don't have to worry about who's going to manage our property next year, or what's our budget going to be, or do we have any savings, or um, things of that nature. And it's a board effort. We have been very blessed to have great board members. Some of our members that are not on anymore were hugely instrumental in making this subdivision what it is now, and very thankful to Ryan and Kelly, both on that part. And the board members we've got now are huge success for our neighborhood. It's constantly reminded by property managers that we are abnormal, that our board functions very different than a lot of neighborhoods, and it functions that way inherently on design. We get along. We really really get along. I consider all the board members friends, and we make, I think, wise decisions. But there's not heated battles. We're not going to run some of these boards. And Sarah, you're in the property management world. I'm sure you run across them. There's some boards that they're just not very nice people
Yeah, we
running.
run some smear
And
campaigns.
yeah, and so we're not going to get in that. We're gonna be respectful, and in running an HOA it's a challenge sometimes. I wouldn't say it's another job, but it gets close at times. There's a weekly conversation that I have with
Say,
Jennifer
say
Ott.
more about that, Justin. Let's
Yeah.
talk more to us about how many hours you have put in, that you have
Well,
basically
um,
given to our community, because it's not a paid job.
yeah,
So part of
it's
this
not.
issue is
Yeah, I would say on average, it's probably anywhere from, some weeks could be 2 to 3 hours. Some weeks are 15 hours, 20 hours. I mean, it just depends. There's a board meeting tonight. Board meetings are typically 2 hours at minimum every month. But there's lead up to that. So there's meeting minutes that need to be reviewed. There's budgets that need to be reviewed. There's, things of that nature. So there's a lot of homework at nighttime before you get to a meeting. Typically, I get to meetings an hour early just to talk about, here's the agenda, and I want to make sure that we're conscious. So I want to make sure that we flow through the meeting well. We don't get stuck in a 45-minute conversation on one subject, and we make sure we address all of them. There's bold personalities. People that lead things are bold personalities. So everybody on a board will have a bold personality, or they wouldn't have chose to be a part. We'll get a room full of 5 bold personalities, and you can get mired up in mud really quick. So sometimes the job is just to make sure that we continue moving the best we can. But yeah, as president, I sign, untelling how many documents I sign a week that come through from my signatures or reviews. If it's something that's over a certain budget, I need to reach out to the other board members to approve. There's some things that are very large, like the upcoming potential playground. Then we try to reach out to the community and get in. The job is to do the will of the neighborhood, and so I think that we've done more right than wrong. There will always be people that disagree, and that's okay. But the job is to make the tough decisions that betters the community. And if they're not something that somebody likes, then we're here to talk about it and explain why we made these decisions, and hopefully we get understanding. But at the same token, we're here for the community, and sometimes the community doesn't always agree, but we want to make sure that we do the best we can responsibly. And it's daunting. I've enjoyed it. I've loved it. I love seeing the residents. Sarah known me for a long time. I've never done this because I wanted the glory. I think it's actually it's a lot of work for somebody, and I tell anybody that they're a sucker for wanting the job. But
it truly
it
was an
is.
act of service.
But it's a great feeling knowing that you can make a difference and see things. And I really, really hope, we got 2 open spots next year with me not returning. There might be, Jerry might return as well. And so he'll have to run for the spot. But I hope that we get some great candidates want to jump in. This is such a great way to make sure that our community grows. This is what I'm leaving is the very small foundation. What we need now is the greatness to come. And so I hope somebody steps up to take the little footsteps we've made now and just make it, grow even more.
When do you run off? When is election?
I've got 2 more meetings, so that'll be my last meeting. Let's see, February, March, April will be my last one. So there should be an election coming up right in the March timeframe. So
In the March timeframe?
yep,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So we're excited. Once again, these are all the board and Gertner employees. They're all we're like a family. So I think I'll always be there to assist and help, and I'll probably stay on in a committee somewhere. Grounds committee has been one I've helped with for a long time, so I'll probably stay and help with the grounds. I'll always be there for the board if they need me and my input, but I am ready I'm ready to see where they take it from here. They're going to do some great things, and I'm excited to see.
Yeah, it's been phenomenal to see what you all have done collectively for the neighborhood. I mean, just great strides have been made. And I know a lot of it is unseen and unknown. So I just wanted to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about it. But from being here for 11 years to where, we were just at the mercy of Gertner. And so it's been really nice to have some advocates and some progress and have the beautiful landscaping and have the consistent Christmas lights and to have a new beautiful clubhouse and to have that fire pit installed over on Maytown. Is that right? It's on Maytown. Yes, it's on Maytown.
Yep.
And then to have there's areas of the neighborhood that not everybody gets to see, but I know on my alley we had overgrown trees that were dead, dying, diseased, and so those got taken out and are being replanted, and it's just great.
Yeah.
And this preserves
Yeah. So it's a lot. It's a lot of moving parts, but
yeah, and it preserves the
yeah.
value of our neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like you said, not everybody may agree with the decisions, but a lot of it is put to vote. And overall, the overarching result is that our home values are protected and our desirability as a neighborhood in the community has been increased, I would say.
Oh, yeah. And so I kind of just put this at the last part is the best way that we honor the subdivision, the place that we live and where our kids grow up and things of that nature is to find a way to serve. And so whether it be that you serve on the board and run for it, which I would love for multiple people to want to do that, because that means we get the cream of the crop, and that's what we want. But also there's committees, and so Sarah, you served on a couple of them, but social committee is one. So we want to do more fun events. We want to have a great time, and so we've set budgets up to do it. But social events are a lot of work, and so we need help on that. The grounds committee, we are blessed with a talented grounds committee, and they look after one of the largest assets of our neighborhood, which is our grounds. And so it's definitely by far the biggest budget item we have is our landscaping and our planning and our growth and things of that nature. And we're unbelievably blessed with a great committee on that. And then communications is something that we've all want to do even better. And so we're growing that a little bit. And then so we have just it's a mixed bag, but it really takes a large amount of people to make things happen. And so we are here on the shoulders of everybody that has worked on this, but we need more. We need help.
Yes.
And so we don't want to wear out the ones
ongoing team effort, Team Tollgate.
Yes. So I that would be, I guess, if I were leaving a parting message is, help support the board, help support the committees, volunteer. It has been an amazing 3
Volunteer
years.
and show up. Come out to all these things that we put so much effort into.
Yeah.
Come and enjoy
And,
each neighbors.
and have a voice and be a part. And yes, it is some work, but it is so satisfying when you look back and you know that you've got a part of something. And so I really do hope that, I hope a couple of people get inspired to want to join something, committee, run for the board, things of nature, because it is it's a great way to know your neighbors better, but also to serve the community that we're living with our families.
Yes. Big thank you, Justin. Thank you for your time today. Thank you for your time over the last 3 years. Thank you to your family, because I know they were in it with you.
Yes, yes. So many a times it's kind of throw my daughter off and run out the door and go to the next meeting. But thank you to the community. Thank you for supporting the board. Thank you for being understanding when sometimes we made things challenging, but most importantly, without your support, I don't know that I would have enjoyed what I was doing. So thank you to all the residents that have supported me. It's been wonderful.
You guys have done great. Well, we'll talk to you soon, Justin.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Sarah.